Hi, my name is Nomalanga Mhlauli-Moses with theblackhomeschool.com. I'm actually commenting here on a story that I saw at another blog called naturallymoi.com, and the title of the blog was a teen was arrested after splashing water on her boyfriend who shared her nude photos. Obviously, the elephant in the room is, why is a teenager in high school, or as anybody, share nude photos with their boyfriend. But since we have that out of the way, the second thing that I wanted to bring up was a trend that I'm seeing in a lot of stories, where instead of kids being corrected, or there being corrective measures in place and in the school's policies in a lot of public school systems, is they just want to remove the kid who they assign the label of problem. So I'm just wondering what happened to the days where kids were sent into detention because they were being naughty, or what happened to the days when kids were being suspended when they were being naughty. Now, just to let you know, I'll put the link on the description here on the YouTube description. But just to let you know a little bit more about the story, what actually happened was this young woman apparently had a boyfriend at school, and she shared some nude pics with him. He then went and shared the nude pics with other people, and this upset her. She confronted him about it. She splashed some water in his face. And when an administrator saw her do this, they sent her to the principal's office. So obviously she was in trouble. She was accused of disrupting the school or the classroom, and she was suspended. Now, suspension already to me feels harsh for what happened, but it gets worse. When this young woman came back from her suspension, the first day she came back from her suspension, she was met by police officers who then arrested her. So she now was arrested for bad behavior in school. And I'm sure they're calling it violence, but I mean, splashing water on someone's face, I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm also not saying that it's okay for a young woman to end up in prison or arrested because this happened to her. So this of course brings up the topic that again is a buzzword lately, and for good reason: the school to prison pipeline. What's happening is schools are doing this, and what's sad is that it's happening to black kids more than the general population. It's happening to black boys more than the general population. And the most troubling part of it is that this is happening to kids as young as 5 years old, where you're having kids who naturally at 5 years old are going to be acting up. They're going to be curious. They're going to be exhibiting all kinds of behavior, but you're having these kids being removed from schools. You're having the police being called, or the kids are just being kicked out permanently from the schools. And again, this is happening more to little black boys than anybody else, and it's also happening to little black girls. Then the other thing is, I want to bring up is in relation to 5-year-old kids. I know we're talking about a teenager right now, but in relation to 5-year-old kids, I'm also noticing that a lot of kids who are exhibiting normal behavior for 4, 5, and 6-year-olds in their preschool or in their elementary school classrooms, if they're as old as 5, 6, or 7, they're exhibiting normal behavior for that age bracket. But what's happening is they're being forced to sit down, be quiet, and so-called behave when they should be free to play and explore. And then they're being medicated, or they're being arrested and jailed. But back to the story at hand. This young woman has now gone from being somebody who was going to graduate from high school, hopefully going to college and career and all these other things. Now she's facing legal criminal charges for something that happened. And again, I'm not saying it's okay that she did this, but it's also not okay that this young man also did that to her. I'm not saying that it's okay that she did this, but I do not believe that the penalty for a teenager making an error in judgment, I don't believe the penalty should be that this teenager gets arrested. Which brings me to my point that I'm always going to bring up anytime I talk about all these things that are happening to our kids in schools, is I really, really think we're at a stage where parents need to think about homeschooling their kids. there was a time where homeschooling was this thing that was so abstract, and was a thing that people who were super religious wanted to keep their kids from the secular crowd, and they took their kids and they homeschooled them. But we're now at a time where it's not just about our religions. It's not just about the Columbine shooting or the other shootings that took place after that, and you're scared that your child's going to get shot up in the school. Although now that is more likely to happen, I believe, than it's ever been in the school systems. However, there's another reason. I believe that parents should consider homeschooling because it may be the best thing for black kids, specifically black kids. And the reason why I'm saying that is you just have to watch the news, you have to look at the research. Black kids are not getting the education that they need. They're being miseducated. And now there's this preschool to prison pipeline, or just school to prison pipeline. Black kids are being thrown in prison. They're being arrested for behavior that we used to think was just normal. In other words, kids cut up, kids misbehave. That's understandable. And as teachers, yes, teachers shouldn't have to be disciplinarians and be managing behavior more than they actually teach. But as teachers, they should be prepared for interruptions. They should be prepared for kids to cut up, because that's just what kids do. And I don't believe that putting kids in prison or removing kids from school serves those children. And unfortunately, the kids that are being removed the most are those black boys and those black girls. So if you're the parent of a black kid, I know that there are many parents who say that it's not for them, or they don't think it's a good idea, or they talk about socialization and they have all these excuses or sometimes valid reasons. However, I can respect a parent who looks into it and decides it's just not going to work for them. However, there are parents who are just not considering this possibility. I'm predicting that more and more and more uh, black parents are going to start homeschooling their kids. It's already happening, but I'm predicting that it will start to happen more and more, just based on what I'm seeing, just based on how many parents are inboxing me and asking me about homeschooling and telling me the horror stories of what they've experienced with the school systems, with mostly public school systems, where their kids are just not getting the education that they need. They're subjected to horrible treatment. Just earlier this week, I made another video talking about a white school teacher who literally attacked a black kid. Now, the kid may have been misbehaving, but the kid was not threatening the teacher, and the kid ended up being attacked. The teacher literally hit the kid, and when the kid asked why she was being hit, the teacher made fun of her. It's not good news, but I guess what I appreciate is that the teacher did eventually get arrested for her behavior, which is not okay. But I don't think it's a good situation either way. I don't think teachers should have to deal with bad kids, but at the same time, I think that attacking a kid is not okay either. This is just me making a suggestion. I know that a lot of people have a resistance to homeschooling because it's something new. I'll personally share that until some years ago, homeschooling was something that I never even considered. But I did end up homeschooling my kids because of various things that were happening in their schools. I did then also create what's called a homeschool guide, a black homeschool guide. And it's just basically information that I put together for parents who are interested in homeschooling their kids. I really struggled to find resources and information specifically for black parents. When I decided to homeschool my kids, I started the blog, thebblackhomeschool.com, which offers news, it offers resources, and we have a Facebook page, again, also called thebblackhomeschool.com, that creates a community of black parents who are either interested in homeschooling or just curious, or just interested in communicating with other parents who homeschool their kids, or who are just really invested in their kids' education. I also created a course. It's a series of lectures that I created for parents who are interested in homeschooling. It's called thebblackhomeschoolguide.com. You can find it at thebblackhomeschoolguide.com. It's at the Black Business School, and again, it's thebblackhomeschoolguide.com. And I encourage you to check it out if you're really at that position where you're making that leap from public school to homeschool. The Black Homeschool Guide will help you. I personally live in the state of Massachusetts, which is one of the most stringent states, and I think that if you can survive, or you can figure out homeschooling in Massachusetts, you can figure it out anywhere in the country. So that's all for now. My name is Nomalanga Mhlauli-Moses with theblackHomeschool.com. Thank you for watching.